Welcome to the hottest real estate topics on the planet, keeping you up to date with all the creative ways to buy and sell real estate without bank qualifying, so anyone can build real income starting today. Here is another great show with Dealmaker Bill and Pete the Rookie.
All right, here we are at another episode of Flipping Houses for Rookies.
Good morning, Bill.
How are you, Peter?
Doing all right. How are you?
I feel like I'm back racing cars again. Yeah,
in the last lap, final stretch.
She flagged us for jump starting.
Oh,
we started a show and there was some technical difficulty, so we had to start over again. I felt like I was in the car, and it's like, oh, you jumped the line. You started too early.
What color's the flag?
Yeah, which one?
So you jumped too early. They raved. What color is it? Black.
It's just a red flag.
Red flag.
Episode number 117, Peter.
11-7.
Yeah. So we were talking before we should play that for lotto tickets tonight. Huh?
Yeah, sure. What's that?
117. I don't even know. I'll just go in and say I want to play lotto, and they'll say what numbers. I'll say 117.
Yeah. Well, no, sorry, sir. You need seven numbers.
7.
I don't know how it works either.
Yeah. Anyways, the name of today's show is 30-minute talk on the CliffNotes the CliffNotes to making offers that get accepted. By the way, if anybody listening to this podcast does play those numbers for lotto, we get a cut, 10%.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
30-minute talk on the CliffNotes to making offers that get accepted. Mastering getting offers accepted when doing real estate investing could easily be the most important skill for any investor. I think we should just stop the show right there.
That's so important. Say that again.
Yeah, it is really, because I don't think most people that get into real estate don't know this until, like in my coaching group, which, by the way, my coaching group, I think at this point is 100% of people actually doing a deal or having an offer accepted.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's damn close. I think I've got one guy that hasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Out of, I think, 15 or 16.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's for this exact reason, because here's what I push hard, right? Mastering getting offers accepted when doing real estate could quite easily be the most important skill of an investor.
Oh, yeah. You don't think of it as a skill. You think of it as you just put an offer in. Oh, tell them such and such number. It's like...
No.
Oh, so my realtor put the bid in, and we're waiting to see what happened. That's not what you're talking about.
That's not an offer.
At all.
Yeah. In this podcast, you'll get what you need to make it easy to get more deals. Okay? After making thousands of offers, Bill, the dealmaker, I have narrowed down the process to 5 easy-to-learn laws that once you know them, will make anyone with or without training look like a pro and do more deals. And it's true, because you've seen it. I mean, I'm going to divert from let me finish the description. So if you're looking to break into real estate profits, this podcast is absolutely for you. I mean, really, if you're looking to break in.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, we did a podcast. We did a podcast. We did a lot of podcasts. We do a meetup in Wallingford, Connecticut, on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m., obviously Eastern Standard Time, and it's free. And I go 90 minutes, and I reveal a lot more than I reveal on the podcast. I mean, people bring me deals. Right, we do deal structuring on the board. I mean, things that I never talk about on the podcast, things that I talk about on my coaching group or in my coaching group, come up, and I just give people answers. I don't hide anything, right? And the reason why is because if somebody's going to take 90 minutes out of their schedule, and some people drive an hour or two to get there. I mean, we've had people come from Tennessee. We've had people come from Massachusetts. That's kind of often they come from Massachusetts. I've had even Tim, one of my coaching clients, came from Las Vegas. I mean,
By boat.
yeah, by boat. Yeah. We've had people from all over. It's not common, but it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are going to come that far, then I'm going to answer their questions. So I mean, I'm treating these people as if they're coaching clients, and they don't realize that my coaching is hundreds of dollars an hour, right? And they come there and they get it for free. Anyways, enough of that. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that there's one little girl. I call her a little girl because I'm a big guy. One little girl that came last month, and she's been doing what I've been telling her to do with making offers, and she's calling me like, now I got to turn her into a coaching client. I don't know what to do because she needs to make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But she's got a couple really good deals that she's made offers on, and people are interested. So here this girl comes. She's got 3 kids. She's not, how old do you think she is?
28.
You think? I didn't even think she was that much.
Maybe.
Yeah. I was thinking
Only
her
'cause she has a
mid-20s.
Only has a few kids. And
She's got 3 kids that are like babies, like, like 6 months and
4 years.
Yeah, something. I think the oldest is 4 years old, right? And she's like, she actually takes the kids she joined the YMCA, and she, I never knew you could do this. She joined the YMCA so that she could take the kids and actually get babysitting.
Yeah, it's like a daycare baby
daycare thing
for like an hour or two, right?
Right. She brings the kids in for like 90 minutes and has somebody watch the kids, and she goes out in her car and makes phone calls so that she's not interrupted, so she can get deals, right?
See, there's a way to do it if you want to.
There's always a way to do it.
There's ways to find excuses too.
Yeah, exactly.
Many of those.
Exactly. I hear those all the time. So my point is that, all she's doing is just using the system that we talk about all the time, and we're very frank with it, right? And she gets leads, and then she needs to make offers, right? And the long point that I'm trying to make here is that you don't realize how critical that is until you're in the situation or in that zone. Like, oh, I have to make an offer.
Yeah. What do I say?
Right.
How do I do it?
Right.
What kind of offer?
Right.
How much?
Yeah.
How long?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
The point is that when you do cull through the many suspects, which you will do, and you do find that that prospect, right? You want to make the best of it, and you don't realize that until it's right upon you.
Well, you've been focusing on, boy, how am I going to find one?
Right.
All your efforts there, all your thoughts, all your planning and your scheming and your reading and your trying and your practicing, finding. Then you find one. Oh, I don't know how to do the next step.
Right. Right.
Oh,
or what happens a lot of times is they'll listen to us do all the math.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then, you can have a free and clear house, right? That is fantastic, absolutely perfect for doing an owner finance deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I explained at the meetups, I buy a house for a house worth $240,000. I pay $260,000. I pay $260,000.
What? He's crazy. He pays too much.
Yeah, I paid $20,000 more than the house was worth that he can get anywhere else, and that's not even deducting the $240,000 is full list. That was the highest comp I could find. That was actually a dream.
Huh?
Right? And that doesn't deduct any of the closing costs, which could run between 12 and 15%. So his $240,000 was completely a pipe dream.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I then turn around and sell it for $260,000.
Wow! You buy it for $260,000, you sell it for $250,000. Man, you're sharp.
And I did that workshop. I've done this at the meetup and show where I make $84,000.
Wait a minute. What kind of math are you using? Voodoo math? What are you doing?
Wait a
Mr.
minute,
Hawthorne?
Peter.
What?
Wait a minute. I got to fess up here because the numbers are wrong.
Oh yeah, the last time you did
it,
it,
$84,000 because I was doing it based on memory. So this last meetup, I'm like, I'm gonna pull that deal.
So it wasn't that much.
It was $100,000 and $300 is what it was.
Yeah, you had more built into it
because there was a profit center I had forgotten about that we had picked up, right? So it's like, how do you do that? So they think, okay, so you buy a house for $260,000, sell a house for $260,000, and make $84,000 or $100,000, right? So they're like, oh, this is a free and clear property, right? So that's the offer they want to make. But now what happens?
The owner doesn't want to do that.
The owner's like, I want 240. I'm not taking a penny less. But it's like, and you're like,
And what would the price? What would the price be?
well, the house is worth 240. That's the comp.
Yeah.
That's what he wants is 240.
Okay.
Right? So it's like he's completely not cognizant of there are closing costs.
Mm.
Right? And he doesn't know that he's going to run into that until they get to the closing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Doesn't have a clue. He's like, oh, well, I'm going to pay the realtor 5%.
Mm-hmm.
So he thinks he's going to pay 5% on the 240, and that's it.
Really?
He doesn't know that there's other closing
What
costs.
about the never mind.
Right.
That laundry list of other things that happen.
Right. So my point is that you don't realize how important it is making offers and the strategy and the structure and the presentation until you start making them and getting rejected. And then you're like,
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
And getting offers accepted. And he says rejected. Well, that happens.
right.
I mean, how many do you have to get rejected before you get one accepted? I mean,
Right.
It's like anything. Dating, finding a job, buying a shirt. No.
You get rejected when you buy a
Man,
shirt.
I was Bill. I was
Peter's in the waiting room.
I didn't-
In the dressing room, takes his shirt off, and somebody goes, "Peter, put your shirt back on."
No, that's not what happened. See, this isn't my new shirt today.
Oh.
But it's at Burlington. You go down the mediums. You go, no. It's like, 40 feet long. You get to the last few feet. Boom, there's two good ones.
Okay.
And I stuck it out to the end.
All right.
That's the kind of guy I am.
All right.
Yeah, to the
I
end.
don't know if that was a good example, but we'll take it.
That's all I got. And that was real. That was this week.
That was this week.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, I have exact numbers. Would you like them?
On what?
On how many offers do you have to make before you get one accepted?
Yeah, sure.
So when you're new, the least amount that I've ever seen is 15. 13 to 15
On you talking on average?
on average.
On
13
average.
to 15.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight, okay?
Right.
I'm talking about a nose-to-nose, toe-to-toe, in the house, at their kitchen table, in their living room, for at least 60 to 90 minutes.
And you mean 15 times and you get one?
And you usually get
What
one.
kind of person can muster up against that?
Well, it's better than what Kiyosaki says in his book, because if you do it on the MLS like he teaches, right, you got to make 100 offers to get a deal.
Jeez.
Okay, now that's on the MLS. And I've heard that by others, too, by the way. Dean Graziano talks about that, too.
Yeah.
It's 100 offers, right?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, having gone through our system a little bit, doing some pre-screening, making sure they're motivated, okay? Which we're going to talk about that in a couple minutes, okay? So, myself, when I'm on my game, which isn't often, because I always got 10,000 things going on, it's 3 to 1. When I'm not on my game, it's about 5 to 1. So I'll make
Even that's not terrible.
about 5 offers and I'll get a deal. So it's like a 20% close ratio.
Yeah. Well, also in the beginning, when you're new at it, you should just go do it, whether it's like a good prospect or not. If it's breathing a little bit, just go for the practice.
Right. And we do that with coaching clients.
Yeah, I mean you can't. We've over pre-screened and under pre-screened both ways. Like you get too fussy, then you don't make any offers. You don't get any practice.
Right.
And then we've gone the other way. Have gone maybe too much, but you do a few, then you pull it back in a little bit.
Right.
Then you get a better idea of what to do and not to do. I've been fooled.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and then you get there, I won't do that. Well, then you just go home.
They forgot what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take out the phone. Here, listen to this.
Yeah. So basically, for the math geniuses out there, I run between a 20 and 25% closing ratio. A new guy will run somewhere around a 5% closing ratio. Okay, if they're really working at it and using some scripts and doing some good things. Okay, but let's get down to something that we did many podcasts ago. In fact, I went to look for it, and it wasn't in the last 40 or 50 podcasts. So that's why we're going to do it again. It's actually called the 5 Laws of Making an Offer.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know these 5 laws, it will make it a lot easier. Now, I'm not going to cover today the math and all that kind of stuff because we've had plenty of podcasts on that. Which, by the way, I would like to announce again this week. This will be the second week that I'm announcing it. We're actually starting a new podcast in addition to this podcast by popular demand. The name of the podcast is going to be, I believe, it's not 100% in stone yet, but until we actually create it, you know me, I'm always changing things.
Mm-hmm.
So the podcast name is going to be Flipping Houses Startup Bootcamp. And the idea is that we are going to start at the beginning and we are going to go step by step through a deal structure or deals and show people how to actually make deals. So we're going to show you how to, I'm going to disclose all of our marketing, how we get leads, some scripts, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to have a Facebook group connected to just that podcast to answer questions. We're going to change things up. We've really been working, when I say we, I mean yourself and Emma and I. And Tim, who is one of my main coaching clients, has helped quite a bit. He's got a great perspective. My guy from Las Vegas, who's not working. He took a year off, did a few deals, had some money in the bank, and took a year off to go sailing around the world or wherever he is, around the United States. Didn't even know you could do that, but he's doing it. So we've been following him on Facebook, and he's had quite the adventure. Anyway, so this new podcast is going to be like, instead of coming on here and seeing there's 117 podcasts, where do I start? This one you'll start right at the beginning. At first, it's going to be about time management and how to make time and how to find the money, and then we're going to go right into the sequence that I use to buy every one of my deals.
Mm-hmm.
And
step by step.
Step by step, yeah.
Yeah, because I've seen the sites too. Like, hey, look, what's this guy have? And there's like 100 whatevers,
right.
Videos or audio, and you don't know where to start. And there's titles and labels, but you can't tell.
Right.
So that's this is really helpful to have it listed and laid out in sequence.
Yeah, in sequence. And Emma has done a very good job of closing us on that. We probably have to do it twice a week. Because otherwise it will take too long. It'll take a year or more, and we don't want people to wait that long. So we're probably going to do 2 podcasts a week.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be released on a Monday and a Thursday, or I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. I'm not sure yet. But the purpose of that podcast is to get. It's exactly what the name is. It's Flipping Houses Startup Bootcamp. It's a boot camp to get you started up. So we're going to be working on that. So stay tuned for that. Okay.
Back to the show.
Back to the show, yeah. I don't know how I got off on that, but...
that was a word from our sponsor.
Yeah. There you go. We don't have one of those. Have you noticed that?
It's us.
I'm very
It's
proud
us.
of that. I am very proud of that. I have 100% funded all of this, and you with your time. There is no sponsors. I don't know of anybody that has 117 podcasts without sponsors. I've not run into it, so I'm very proud of that. So anyways... the reason why we got off on this tangent is because I believe there is a podcast called 5 Laws of Making Offers, but it's way back, and I want to cover it again today because I think it's really important. So the first law is to never compromise what you're looking for property. So there's a thing called criteria. We have a thing we call CTN, criteria, terms, and network, which we're not going to cover today. But there is a criteria that you should be looking for. Okay? And I'm going to make this as simple as possible because I believe that there's 2 buckets of leads. Now, we're not even talking about house like 3-family or single family or 3-bedroom, 1-bedroom, or a certain neighborhood. I haven't even drilled down to that yet.
Right.
What I'm talking about is that you talk to a lot of people and you're looking for one kind of seller. Okay. Now, my philosophy on making offers is to cast a big wide net. And whatever fish you pull in, you deal with. Right? So that's just the way it is. Okay. So the reason why my system is much different than most others is because I don't specialize in wholesaling. I don't specialize in lease options. I don't specialize in, rehab retails, or I don't specialize in getting the deed. although that's my favorite. What I specialize in is casting your net and getting people to call you and then figuring out how you can make an offer for every single person that calls you. Okay? That wants an offer.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm not talking about the suspects. Right? Which, by the way, a suspect, we're going to talk about it now. So the two buckets of people that you're going to run into, there's one bucket where people actually have a house and there's some dilemma. They're looking for relief.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Whether it be financial relief or just some sort of relief. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the house is, you think a house is an asset. Oh, look, it's worth so much money, but for some people, it's a problem.
Right.
There's some kind of problem going on.
Like, for example, a probate deal. Like mom and dad had a house for 40-something years, and now they're both passed on, and now you and your siblings, you and your brother, or you and your sisters that probably don't get along 100% anyways, maybe
and don't
not,
all live here.
and don't all live in the same state, have to go and empty the house out, and now you're burdened.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have this burden, right? And it's like, and you're trying to relieve yourself of this burden,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's like a dilemma for you, right? It's like the house is in the way of your life.
Yep.
Okay? And believe it or not, most people they're not as articulate with what we're talking about now. You will not hear this from anybody else, because I have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of offers and hours, thousands of hours, not kidding, thousands of hours. I am not bullshitting at all. Thousands of hours trying to figure out this simplicity. And if you've not ever done that, you won't believe me, but I'm telling you that this one thing is worth you listening to this whole show. Okay? Knowing that there is a category where somebody actually has a dilemma or they're looking for relief of the house is huge. And I'm not talking about desperate. I'm not talking about foreclosures, because we don't do those. I don't do desperate. I don't do desperado.
Yeah, it's not a money thing. They ran out of money.
No.
That's all. That happens.
That's the
plenty.
furthest.
That's foreclosure. That's
Yeah.
short sale. That's bank problems. This is people problems.
Right. Now, the other bucket, when people call, is people that want the money. So, in other words, they have a house, and the way they think of it is it's a savings account, and they want to get their cash out. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in the real estate industry, we call that equity. And any other business, we call it profit.
Right.
It's the same thing.
It's what's left over.
So it's after the expenses and after everything's done, after all the dust settles, how much is your check?
Yep.
Right? So the interesting thing is when you're making an offer, if you don't categorize those two buckets in your head, like, which one do I have? Do I have a person that has a dilemma and wants relief? Or do I have someone that just wants cash?
And he's trying to get the most money he can out of his house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Makes a big difference on how we make the offer.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guy that just wants relief, you can ask him a question like, would you be willing to sell the house for what you owe on it?
Mm-hmm.
And the likelihood would be yes.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's the guy with the cash, you're not going to say that. What you're going to say to him is, would you like to get the most amount of money for your house? Do you see? It's very important, and I've not clarified this like this before because it's very important. You're going to get to a fork in the road. You're going to need to know which one am I dealing with here. Am I dealing with the guy that's looking for relief and has a dilemma? Or am I dealing with the person that wants cash and they're just trying to go to the bank and say, give me my money, please?
Right, because the first guy is actually paying you to fix the problem.
Right.
Like, don't worry about this. Don't worry, I'll clean that up and I'll take care of that for you. And like, oh, please, thank you. And for that, he's giving you the house at a better rate.
Paying you in equity.
Yeah, for solving problems, cleaning the house, taking out, a fast sale, whatever he needs.
Right.
But the other guy, he wants the money,
right,
as much as he can possibly get.
So it's okay for us to give him the money, but then it splits off from there because it's like, does he want it in 30 days? We'll give him less if he does.
Mm-hmm.
It's time versus money.
Mm-hmm.
If he needs it within 30 days, here's the number, which is like our cash offers.
Yep.
And if he's willing to wait a couple of years, we'll give him full asking price, if not more, because we have terms. Because there's two ways to make money in real estate: equity, buy low, sell high, and cash flow. right?
Yeah, and that time, the 2 years, 4 years, 5, whatever that is. 10, yeah. My condo's 10 on owner financing. Pays the equity off.
Right. So what it does, it reduces the debt and creates equity.
Yeah, and it puts money in your pocket while you're
Right.
waiting to add to the money that he wants.
Right.
And which is coming from the buyer down, because he's paying every month. So
Right.
he's filling that gap in and filling it up nice.
Good. So the first thing we want to do is you don't want to compromise that. You want to know what your criteria is. The first criteria you should know about is which bucket is he in. Does he need relief and deal with a dilemma, or is he a cash buyer looking to go to a savings account and just get his withdrawal?
Mm-hmm.
And you deal with each one differently.
Right.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Good. The second one is be a shopper, not a buyer. And what I mean by that is it's better to miss a good deal than to be stuck with a bad deal. Like I hired a new acquisition manager, which I haven't talked about much, but so he went and looked at the deal yesterday, and the house is worth. They have it on the market for $348. He comped it at barely $290. He's like, that's a stretch. So the guy won't take less than $290. Okay, so he's saying to me, okay, well, we can do an option deal. That's the only thing I can think of. And I'm like, okay, we could do that. So we went through the whole scenario, like, what it would mean and how it would work. And my point to him is when you do an option, one of the main things you got to look at when you're doing an option agreement, just an option agreement, which is much like how a realtor sells a house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have to take a look at what's the unique selling proposition, because if you're like the realtor and you're just going to list it for $340, then what do you have that's different than the realtor? Why would they come look at the house?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have MLS.
Why are they going to pay $348 if it's not worth it?
Right. Okay. So if we offer terms, then that's your unique selling proposition. It's like, okay, well, you're going to pay $340 because I'm going to give you 5 years to get a mortgage, and you're going to live in the house. So that's very appealing to somebody, right? But if you're just going to sell it like in the competition of the MLS, it's got to have something. It's either got to be lower priced or have some uniqueness to it that you can offer that's unique.
Right.
Obviously. I said that 3 times. Okay. So in this particular case, what I was saying to him is, well, if you want to do the deal, if they're advertising it for $348 and we advertise it for $309, then we might be able to do something. At the end of the day, I'm like, how much time do you want to put into it? And we kind of went through what would have to happen and the likelihood of selling it. And he's like, I don't think we should do the deal. I said, there you go, bingo. He did number 2. He was being a shopper, not a buyer. He passed on the deal because we don't need the deal. I mean, we got a new board behind you, and it's like all the deals we're working on. You know what I mean? Which isn't enough, because if I don't have 15 deals working, I'm not happy. I'm like, rah, right? You know that. So, just be a shopper. Take the deals that make sense to you, especially from your criteria from number 1. So number 1 is never compromise, stick to your criteria. Number 2 is be a shopper, not a buyer. So make sure you do all your homework. Make sure you know what you want before you jump in. Okay.
Yeah, and from my personal experience, the other guy can be pretty convincing why you should buy the house and all that. And I remember sitting in the house with you, and we're trying to help the guy too. He's got a problem, he's divorced or whatever. They have problems. Trying to figure how can I do this, but you try to look at it from their perspective.
Right.
But that doesn't work because you have to look at it from your perspective.
Right.
And if they don't match, you're going to be stuck with his problem. And I've told people, like, well, I don't want to buy your problem.
So I don't think that's correct. I think what you're saying is very valid, but there's a point that you're missing there, I think.
Go ahead.
You need to look at it from your buyer's perspective.
You have to look at it from their perspective.
Yeah. So what is your buyer going to see when they do this? What are they going to want? What are they going to do? And how could you how could you create something that most people want?
Well, both have to fit, though, in the end. When you see his perspective, then you have to go back, wait a minute, what's my perspective?
Right.
And if those two can't come together, it won't work.
Right.
You can't just give in to theirs and like, okay, we'll do that for you.
But I still don't think you have it.
What?
You keep saying, what's my perspective? I don't matter. When I'm
Well,
buying the house, I don't matter. I'm talking about my end user, the guy that's going to live in it.
Oh.
Not me.
I'm just talking about how the money's going to work on our end. I mean, it has to fit. It has to fit one of our deals.
Right.
The numbers have to work for us.
Which is the glory of one of our deals, because when you use one of our deals, you'll have no trouble fitting into the buyer's market.
Right. And if our deals don't fit what he needs, we're going to be in trouble.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Good.
Okay.
So the point that I think we should take away from this little debate that we had here is that my 7 offers were designed from the buyers, from selling houses. That's why they work. Because when we acquire the houses, they automatically shoe into into a buyer's mindset.
What, the ultimate end buyer or the guy selling the house?
The guy living in the house.
Okay.
When we sell the house,
Yeah.
the guy that's going to pay for what we promise.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's the magic of buying real estate in a shoestring budget. Is that you're using the buyer's money. I mean, realtors do that. The difference is realtors do it in 30 days. We do it. They're using the banker's money. The buyer's using the banker's money to buy the house, and there's a bunch of contingencies and things that you got to do that we completely skip past all that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 3, which is the most important, and we're like out of time. We're out of time.
Tune in Thursday.
Number 3, which is the most important, is time matters. Okay. You should thrive to be the first offer or the last offer. Anything in the middle, you're in an auction.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say anything else about that because it says enough. It's either be the first offer, which is the hardest because sometimes they need to get a reality check.
Yeah.
They think that the house is worth $340 when the house is really worth $290, and they need to put it on the market. They need to bring it to the market and get a reality check. So that's why follow-up matters so much.
Yep.
Because once they get their reality tuned up a bit, you could maybe buy a house later on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got a deal that I'm doing right now with a couple 2-family houses, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It's 6 months after we originally talked to them. All of a sudden, he got a new job opportunity. He's moving to Florida. He's out. You're the guy. He told me he had 21 people make him offers like I made him.
Huh.
Which I don't know how that could be, but where they're talking
Yeah,
about,
why?
yeah, what he was talking about is a rent to own or option. I think what he was talking about is options. He had wholesalers talking to him.
Yeah.
Because the numbers are good, right? And he said that he would not even dream of talking to them. He was so impressed with our presentation and how we dealt with him and our professionalism and how long we've been in business and how many houses and our website and all that stuff. He's like, I have no doubts. I talked to my lawyer and I talked to my accountant about what we want to do, and they're like, yeah, it works as long as you get the right person. He's told me 4 times you're the right person.
That's awesome, Bill.
So that's just by making good offers. All we did was make the offer professional. It's not because I spent a lot of time with this guy.
No, there's an air when you're professional, you've been doing it, and you treat people a certain way, and you're confident. They get that.
Right.
It's the confidence.
Exactly.
You've talked about that a lot.
Exactly.
Confidence.
Yeah. Okay, so number 4, it's a numbers game. This is very important. I'm just going to read it. I'm going to have a moment of silence after we're done because it's that important. You ready?
Ready.
It's a numbers game. You will always find quality of deals and the quantity of prospects. It's a numbers game. You will always find quality of deals and the quantity of prospects. That's why pre-screening matters so much.
So when you have that little sieve in the creek and you're going through the rocks and you're looking, nope.
You only need one piece of gold.
Nope.
If it takes you a week to find it, who cares? Because you'll live off of it for a long time.
Keep panning.
Yes. And number 5, organization and systems. This is the only way to protect your time and money now and in the future. Okay, so if you don't have systems, which we have, you can go to flippinghousesforrookies.com. We have plenty of them there. If you don't have systems and you don't have a certain way or a process in doing it, you won't survive. I mean, like I was talking about, we made this new board here, and it's the deal structure, and I'm with my acquisition manager, and he's like, just watching me right up there. He's like, how do you know what to do next? I'm like, because I've done so many deals. There's a process.
Mm-hmm.
So the deal flow, the purpose of the board is that we can look at the board, and I know what next step to do on each person, because I listed the steps of the deal, and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 or 9 steps.
There's a show, huh, Bill?
That's a show, yeah.
That's a 9-week series.
Yeah. But that's what the Flipping Houses startup
boot camp. Yeah.
Boot camp is going to do is go through all those steps. That's why we're doing this
in sequence,
step
by step.
Start here
for real,
and each week. So the object of the the podcast is you listen to the 30-minute show, and then you go do it, and then a few days later you listen to another 30-minute show, and then you go do it, and within a few months you could have deals,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the purpose of it. Okay, so if you want to go there, I have a URL, right, Em? What's the name of the URL for the new podcast? Do we have it yet? Yeah, it's flippinghousesforrookies.com/startup bootcamp, all one word. So it's, if you go there and there's not something there, that means we haven't released it.
Yeah, I don't think there is anything there, but that will be the URL.
Yeah, so it's flippinghousesforrookies.com/startup bootcamp.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you're listening to this podcast, maybe you're listening to this podcast 2 months from today, you'll see it there. But
Yeah, there's nothing there right now.
but there will be. We
got to get a few shows in the can to get it out there.
We've been working on it, and there's a private Facebook group that you're going to be allowed to get into to ask questions. It's definitely going to be for people that want to get started and answer questions. Okay, one other thing I would like to say before we go, because we're 4 minutes overdue here. We have done something spectacular, Peter. We have totally dumbed stuff down. It's taken us 115 podcasts to figure this out. Remember I was telling you that before, when I was making offers, it's literally thousands of hours and thousands of offers to figure out some of the stuff that I'm bringing today, which is why we call CliffNotes.
Yeah.
Because it's literally taking me this long to, and call me a dumbass if you want, I'm okay with that. But to actually cull it down to a couple simple things that are very important. The first 15 minutes of this show, talking about which bucket they're in, do they have a dilemma, or do they have some relief they're looking for, or that alone, there's nobody talking about that. I know that, and it's because I still make offers. I love the man to death. Ron LeGrand has taught me a lot, but he's not sitting in living rooms anymore. Dean Graziano, he's not sitting in living rooms anymore. Kiyosaki, he's not sitting in living rooms anymore.
He doesn't even go to the workshops.
Yeah, so that's my uniqueness. We still do this. I have contracts to write this afternoon. I have deals that I'm doing. I still do it every day. Okay, and I like to think that that's important. But here's the surprise. Real easy. You go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/free stuff. Free stuff. There's a lot of stuff there. Like for example, you can get the document that I'm reading, 5 Laws of Making Offers, is under free stuff. So go to flippinghousesforrookies.com, go to free stuff. So it's flippinghousesforrookies.com/free stuff. And there you'll find the prospect suspect forum, you'll find FSBO scripts, you'll find me, case study. There's a case study of us doing a deal. There's all the deal structures. Like if you want to know how to do a lease option deal, there's a 30-minute video of me doing it at a meetup, showing you the math, how you buy the property and how you sell the property and what the results are, how you make your money. And it's all in a 30-minute video, and it's on that page. So if you go to flippinghousesforrookies.com/free stuff, which, by the way, the page is a little clunky right now. We're working on it. Emma's working on the design of it now, but at least for right now, you can go there and get stuff. All right. So because I've got 2 pages of links that we blat off all the time, and even my coaching clients are like, "Where do you find that?" I'm going to tell you probably the most valuable document that I could give you is the prospect suspect form and the lease option explained form. It's a 5-page form you can give to your clients, and if you have that form, you don't need a website, you don't need to do any explanation. It's got Q&A in there. It's got everything, frequently asked questions. It's got all of it. That document's worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Talk about the editing.
So yeah, so that document, when you download it, is a PDF document. So what you have to do is you'll have to print it, and then the last page you'll have to retype it because that's how we deliver it. Because otherwise, formatting with some computers and stuff,
But to get your name changed at the bottom of the sheet.
Yeah, the last page has got your name on it. So what you do is you just print that document, and then the last page just type your own in a Word document and just staple it and put it together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You put your name at the bottom.
Yeah.
Or put Bill's in if you want him to buy the house.
Yeah, just leave my phone number on there. I'm cool
Sure.
with that, and I'll buy the house and just pay your finder's fee.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. flippinghouses4rookies.com/free stuff.
I love the name, Free Stuff.
Free stuff. Okay. See you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to the hottest real estate topics on the planet with Bill and Pete. If you want to continue learning how to buy and sell real estate without money or credit, head over to flippinghouses.club for some cutting-edge real estate wealth tools. Or contact us at info@flippinghouses.club.